Hi, sixth graders. It's Miss Schwer here. We're going to do another lesson that goes along with the bar graph activity that you just did. It's about line plots. We did touch on this a little bit in the beginning of the year. So what it's doing is you're creating a visual that gives your information, and then from that visual, then we can figure out some about other stuff. So first thing, the first topic is points scored in a basketball game. So these are all of our points scored. First thing that you're going to need to do, and you're going to do this later on, you're going to need it for later on our other activity. I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them in order, smallest to biggest. So there's 12 players on the team. So I have 0 and 0, so 2 of them didn't score anything. And then I have a 2, and then 2 5s, and 2 6s, 6 6. I have a 7 and an 8, and 3 12s. Okay, and then I'm going to check to make sure I have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So those are 12 players on our basketball team. Okay, so in order to make the line plot, what you're going to do is now I'm going to use an X. Now they can be line plots or dot plots. Typically you're going to see them with an X. So if I have 2 zeros, I'm going to put 2 X's. You could also do them with dots. For this activity, we're going to do them all with X's. In an activity, you could actually, again, you could use stickers or something. You could use stars, hearts, any type of visual representation. Sometimes if they're talking about people, they'll actually use little stick people or candy bars. So I'm just going to put my information from here onto my line plot. So 2, I have 2 5s, 2 6s, 1 7, 1 8, and then skip some and I have my 3 12s. Okay? So if I'm looking at my data, it's spread out. Now, after we have the data, we have some things that we're going to answer about. The first one is the median. Which number is in the middle? So median should be a review. That's your middle number. So I have 12. That means that I'm going to have 2 of them. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 2 are my middle, so I should have 5 on each side, which I do. Now they're actually the same number. So the middle of 6 and 6 is going to be the median. It's 6, and then the label is points. So the middle of my group of kids scores 6 points, which makes sense. That's right here. The mode, that's the one that happens the most often. It is not the most number. A couple of you had that wrong on your quiz. It is the most common one. So if I look here, actually on this team for this specific game, 12 was the most common. So 12 points was the most common. Okay, and remember, let's say if I wouldn't have had 3, I could have had more than one. I could have had 12, 6, and 0, and 5 if they each had 2. So you can have more than one mode, or you can have nothing. The range, that one's a new one. What the range is, it's the difference between the greatest number and the least number. So this one's an easy one to do. My greatest number was 12. So you would actually take 12 minus your biggest number minus your smallest number. 0 minus 12 is 0. So the range of your data is at 12 points. Okay, that's your range. And again, I put my label. My last one is outlier. Now this one, we talked about again earlier in the year. What an outlier is, it's a number that's way outside. So it's not with the rest of your data. So let's say that if I had my team and let's say I added maybe one of my players wasn't playing and I had a different player playing that night and they scored 30 points. Now, in a typical, if I look at mine, are most athletes on my team scoring 30 points? No, they're not. So that would be an outlier. That's a way outside number. It's not with the group. So on this one, there's not really any numbers, and you really can't, an outlier is typically only one number. So even though I had 2 students, or 2 players that scored 0 points, it's not an outlier. I had 3 kids actually that scored 12. That's not an outlier because more than one of them did it. An outlier is a way outside number that's kind of all by itself. So this one I'd say none. Okay? So, and I'll quick over one more example of an outlier. Let's say, like I said, on my basketball team, I had one player that scored 13 and then everybody else was over here. Okay, that might look more like an outlier, but then you really think of it, in a basketball game, you could score 13 points and the rest of the team maybe doesn't score a lot. So, depending on the situation, you really have to think about, is it an outlier or not? There is a mathematical way to do it. I'm not going to get into that now, but from this data that we did before, there's no outlier. Okay, we're going to do another activity. We're only going to do 2 of them today. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is the amount of fruit you're eating. So, I'm gonna ask a few students how much fruit you've been eating in a week. So my first student really likes fruit, so they're eating 2 every day, so they had 14. Well, then my next student said I didn't eat any. Another student said maybe 2. One student, their mom or dad makes them eat 1 a day, so they had 7. Let's say another one said 0, another one said 14. If it was one of my kids, it'd probably be like 20. Actually, it probably is 20 because they ate a ton of fruit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then let's say I had somebody else, another 0, 8, and let's do one more. Somebody that had maybe 2 again. Okay, so this would be my data of fruit. So I would do my line plot, and I'll say pieces of fruit. Pieces of fruit eaten. Yeah, that's eaten. Yeah, does he? Yeah, that's right. Just a piece of fruit. Okay. So I have 0. Now for this, I can count by 2s as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I might have to 16, 18, and 20. Okay, so then I'm taking my data points first. I'm putting them in order. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 2. 7, 14, 14, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect, we got them all. So now I'm going to take the data and I'm going to put it on here. So I have 3 zeros. So 3 of my students didn't eat any fruit. 2 of them had 2. Skipped a bunch. No, 7 again is going to be right in the middle. So I have 1 that had 7. 2 that had 14. And then kids like my kids ate 20 of them because they ate a ton of fruit. Okay, so once again, I have my data here, and now I'm going to go ahead and do my topics. So I have my median, my mode, my range, and my outlier. Okay, so if I look at this, I can already tell there's not really an outlier, so I'm going to say none. I can go in any order I want. Median, that was my middle one. This one's easier, I have 9 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my middle number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so my median would be 2 pieces of fruit. My mode, that's one that's the most often. My most one would be 0 pieces. I love fruit, so that would be me. Range would be your difference between your biggest and your smallest. So 20. Minus your smallest would be 0, so there's a 20 range between them all. Okay, so again, take your data, you're going to first put it in order, and then you're going to plot it on your line plot. Then you're going to go through and answer the questions, the median, the mode, the range, and the outlier. Okay, the first day for homework for Friday, all you're going to do is just actually graph them. You don't have to do this extra part, and then later on in the week, or the next week, you're going to be doing some of the extra stuff. So again, look in your book if you need more examples. You can watch videos online. Any of those things to help you understand it more. All right, see you later.